From 16 to just 8 players left here for WCS Austin, we now find out who is going to be moving on into the semi-finals. I'm tired. As we do get into our next series coming up here. A warm welcome back to the desk, ladies and gents, as I am joined to my left by Maynard and Rotterdam. And overall, oh my god, Kelazor, that was amazing.
My head is actually still spinning and my voice is still recovering from that series. That was insane.
Yes.
And definitely the best performance of his career. When I see a pro gamer that happy and you know, breaking that wall of like, I've never performed better than this, and finally breaking that wall, like that glass ceiling of skill, it makes me elated for them because I'm an empath. I like to see my fellow SE2 gamers do well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's awesome to see. I mean, I feel like Kelazor is a player that's been around for a while now, and at first we gave him a lot of credit. Like, hey, there's this new up-and-comer, and then he got really good. But then it kind of felt like he plateaued for a while. Then he got a little better again, but it felt like he plateaued again. And it's like, okay, Kelazor is going to beat the players that we kind of expect him to beat. But then when he goes up against players that are better than him, then it's either 3 Rex Reaper or bust. Well, that's not true anymore. He just played fantastic. A really fun series to watch. And I mean, it's always sad for Snoot. I hate seeing Snoot lose. I don't know why, because you watch his stream, you know how much he plays, you know how he pours his heart and soul into it. But yeah, I couldn't be happier for Kelazor. And what an interesting top 8 we have. Like, all these nationalities that are being represented. Mexico is the most represented nation in the quarterfinals. I mean, that's just bizarre to me.
Well, next up is a clash of continents. It's Serral going up against Special here. Serral, a guy who almost, aside from Showtime, kind of terrorized the Europe Challenger. All those good ZvZ results. Guys, Terrans didn't have to run up against too many of them, but he's no slouch in that department. Serral's, for a lot of people out there, a young genius.
He is. He's an incredibly gifted kid. But it's funny, because I was thinking, I was like, well, Serral's really good. And I was like, let's talk about his ZvT. Oh, it's really good. And I was like, well, why do I think his ZvT is really good? I was like, I can't actually remember any ZvT that he played. So I tried to look it up. And it's really bizarre. But in official matches, he literally has only played 3 ZvTs throughout the entire year.
What?
Because he's not a player that plays a whole bunch of online cups. He doesn't really participate in everything.
Yeah.
So he beat Optimus 2-1, he beat Beast 2-0, and he beat Hero Marine 1-0. Those are the only official ZvTs he played. Obviously, he plays on ladder, and I'm sure, you know, that he plays all right. But when you come to think of it, super high level European ladder, how many Terrans does he truly play? You know, Utermo, Optimus, Beastie, and then maybe, you know, there's a couple others out there that are close to it, like Hero Marine, or maybe the Muslim if he's playing and stuff. But there is, this is kind of a test for Serral, because he doesn't play this matchup a whole lot.
Well, Maynard, we are indeed ready to get this going. So we're going to head over to the stage. I'll get your thoughts in just a moment as we go over to Smix for our quarterfinals.
Thank you very much, James. Of course, our first quarterfinal match, we have a 19-year-old Zerg from Finland who impressed everyone by making it to the round of 8 at Katowice as the only non-Korean. Now, up against him is a very special Terran who is hailing from just qualifying for the GSL in South Korea. So let's get ready to welcome these two to the stage. It is Serral and Special.
The #1 ranked WCS player in points in Serral currently here for 2017, going up against one of the only non-Koreans to qualify for Code S in some time, joining the illustrious group of Scarlet in recent times as well. So this is quite the clash of big names at the moment in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, absolutely. The classic matchup of NA versus EU does happen quite a bit. I'm going to see it a few times in the quarterfinal, actually. I'm a big fan of this. I'm a big fan of Twitch chats when this tends to go down, put it that way. It's always really entertaining. Both players are going to hold nothing back. Obviously, this is single elimination. Serral has a lot of hype around him, but like Roddy kind of touched on, his ZvT is a bit of an enigma.
Yeah.
Like, how good is it right now?
Slightly undocumented.
I happen to know for a fact that Special's TVZ is quite good.
Do you agree with that, Roddy? How are you looking at Special in terms of his TVZ?
I mean, it looked good because he was able to turn around like an 0-2 deficit into a 3-2 victory. And I think that Major has always been getting a lot of praise, or Special in this matchup. But if you're asking me, did it look invincible? Did it look like somebody that's about to beat Serral in the quarterfinals? I'm very eager to say no. I also should give credit to guys like Sol and Masa, by the way, when it comes to like the ladder Terrans. That doesn't really matter.
Fair play, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, those are obviously guys that he runs into when he wants to be on top of the ladder. It's It's a little bit of a mystery, but I still think that when I look at Serral, what do I see? I see a kid that is almost flawless in mechanics, so incredibly good in scouting, in shutting everything down, and being incredibly effective with his engagements. And if I think that, do I think Special is better in that department than anybody that Serral has faced? I personally don't think so. But, you know, Special does always have very streamlined builds. Almost a little bit like TY, a player that he really looks up to, a player that he idolizes. TY may not be as fast or as spectacular as Maru and Beyond, but he has better builds. And, you know, Special is also somebody that often has very refined, very streamlined builds that can hit very hard.
Yeah, works on them a lot and is able to kind of get that aggression out where he needs to. That being said, Serral's no stranger to kind of innovative builds himself. I remember back in the WCS Europe days when we would see him playing and busting out some... When he kind of first rose to a bit more prominence, there was a lot of times where he would be aggressive with more kind of unique builds to kind of bust out. But now he's just kind of an all-round strong guy.
Yeah, I was about to say... you know, when you said all-round strong guy, he is the full package, I believe. Like, he's young, he's hungry, he's got strong macro, he's got strong micro.
Yeah.
He can do anything you want, which is going to mean that Special's going to need to be on his toes here. Sure.
Yeah, he doesn't have to really excel in a certain part of his gameplay. He doesn't have to be fancy. Serral doesn't have to come up with anything here. All he has to do is just let the mechanics do the job, because the kid is incredibly good. He's just fast, he sees everything. I hear from all the Europeans whenever they play against him that it feels like a nightmare, because everything you throw at him, he smashes back in your face, and then he's ahead in the game. So I'm really looking forward to this series. And this is obviously a big moment, because we have done this in the past, but we keep hyping up this young guy just because he has been really promising and has been putting up a couple of good results. But then, you know, at the end of the day, the critical people will say, like, well, his best result is still just a quarterfinal. So this is a very big series for Serral. But the fact that we see him as that much of a favorite, I think that says enough on how good we think he truly is.
All right, well, thank you very much, gents, as we are ready for our first quarterfinal here. Serral going up against Special. Let's head over to the commentary team.
Well met, ladies and gentlemen, as we are beginning our next match. Our Terran versus Zerg is already loaded in. Spawning in the top right position of Proximus Station, we have the blue Zerg player. He is Serral.
Did you know that in Finland, death metal was invented?
I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't true.
I don't know if it is.
His opponent's in the bottom left position. The red Terran player, he is Special.
Did you know in Mexico, Mexican food was invented?
That doesn't surprise me.
That one is true.
I would be inclined to believe you on that. We've got Terran versus Zerg, though. I know it's your favorite matchup in Control. And we're going to make a lot of jokes because this is our first event. We got to get used to calling Special.
Yeah.
So hopefully he does some special builds and can really help cement that into all of our brains permanently.
He wanted to be reimagined and reborn. Smix asked the question, and that was part of it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, Nathanius, on this very map earlier today, when the other commentators were doing things like counting stacks of cash, they were drinking just pure petrol, they were doing other caster things.
Yeah.
My passion knew no bounds. I was scouring the internet for information on Serral because we knew that a ZvT is not seen as much, and I gazed upon DeMuslim's stream, and he was facing a young Zerg by the name of Serral, who was practicing over there on this very map. And Serral smashed the ever-living hell out of him with nothing but lings and banelings well in the middle of the game. So I wonder.
He destroyed DeMuslim.
He destroyed him.
DeMuslim got wrecked.
There's a reason he's not here, and it's because Serral wrecked him so hard today on the ladder. But Serral showed this ridiculous defensive style where he was dropping banelings on mineral lines the entire time. And if he wasn't dropping your mineral lines, he was going for surrounds and going for massive baneling attacks. I wonder if he'll do it here.
That sounds like an incredible defensive style in Control. Let's see if he goes for it. He is going to open up with speed. We have the Reaper going across the map. Special is going for a factory with a reactor, very standard. He's not doing ye old 2-1-1 boring build that everybody and their grandma knows how to do at this point. He's going for a second gas. We're probably going to see that early Raven, which he has been favoring. He's been loving the Raven harass. You can hide air units on this map really well. I would be even more happy if he rushed Liberator range, personally, but that's because I have no soul.
Very good. We're gonna have to see if Special busts out some stronger early play in this series. He fell behind against Ayasanyu earlier and was able to drag it back and win the series. But against a lot of people, and if you can believe the hype or not, a lot of people are calling Serral one of the absolute best Zerg players on planet Earth, and that is including Korea, where, to be fair, Zerg has had a little bit more of a challenge against those Korean opponents. But if he's that good, I guess what I'm trying to get at is I don't know how well Special's going to be able to come back in this series. He needs to win early and often.
Well, we've definitely seen Special willing to make a couple of creative adjustments to his play styles. I think we look back to the Terran versus Protoss he played yesterday, as he does ask for a pause. But I mean, my mind just goes back to the fact that he built Thors versus Protoss. You know, he's not going to tell himself, hey, I have to just, you know, look at the instruction manual on how to play Terran and follow that to a T. He's willing to think outside the box. And okay, just needed a quick pause, and we'll be right back.
It says glasses got very dirty, which is
when you're microing so fast,
when
you're moving so fast, you create, you know, it's like when you go Super Saiyan, that aura around you, it just stained his glasses. That's all. So the game is going again. Everything's fine.
Yeah, let's see how that would happen. We don't need to see these Void Rays. There they are, shooting that Leviathan, putting a little bit more damage into it. But we are going to get into this game. We'll give you an update on those Void Rays later. They've been working hard this weekend. But Serral doing something that's a little bit more classic, by the way. We've been seeing less of this tournament, where a couple of queens push out the creep tumors. They've been a lot more close to home and kind of worried about that defensive play. But I like that he's already starting that creep path.
He's going for a quick lair with his Spine Crawler, which usually says to me he has to be going Mutalisks. He doesn't have, and it's not like fast, super fast Muta, because he does have the third base with this, but Major. Going for the Hellion drop, we saw a very good usage of this by Thermal earlier today, and he got a lot of damage against True. He's going to go for it. Already got 3 drones straight away, pushing the worker line out of position and immediately picking up. Does not lose a single Hellion for 6 drones. He's got the Raven follow-up, but that Armory in control. He's not going to go mech. He wants to use the front Hellbat pressure. He wants to bring the heat.
To bring the heat, but he's not going all in on it. We just got a shot from our amazing observer here, Mapu, and we saw that he's adding a third CC. So this is a little bit of like implied pressure. He's going to go ahead, go with the Hellions in the backfield. The Zerglings do get a bit of a surround, but those are Hellions. So they have to get the hell out of there. A few more drones are dying, and Serral being tested early on here.
Yeah, I absolutely love this. Really using this position to get
up in his face. That was incredible! Oh gosh, you guys missed it.
We got it back.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Hellbat drop.
Dang.
Yeah, that was like a...
Did you see that battle cruiser come in like that? Yamato itself, and then an Ultralist fell out.
And then it disappeared. We actually saw the Leviathan in-game for a brief moment, and it
holy cow. Well,
doesn't happen often.
Let's get this game back to normal here, all right?
So he is going for the Spire now, but here's the Raven, and there's a lot of places for this bad boy to hide between the 2 bases before the Muta pops, so kill the Queen, easy. Of course, they're great against drones and extractors, too.
Not bad against Queens, as it would turn out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Raven auto turrets are sick.
Or
This Hellbat pressure
here.
is really, really nice. I love when a player takes advantage of an opportunity like this, especially with no roaches. There's not a lot of great ways to deal with it. You're killing a lot of lings. You're just making life in general very difficult.
This is that analysis, though, that Kevin was talking about that I'm finding extremely applicable right now. Everything I was seeing was pretty good out of Special. Then I pull a Todd, and I look down at that supply. I look at the situation. I analyze. I digest the information as it comes through my eyes, and what do I see? I see this finished Zerg unperturbed. He's fine.
There's one thing I know, it's us hype casters are not allowed to look at the supply.
No, it's way better if you don't look at it.
It's called cognitive dissonance. It keeps us safe. So 5 Mutalisks are on the way. That will swat away the Raven. The Baneling speed is beginning, so that it's going to be a ling-bling Muta sort of style.
Nathanius, hot pick on your information. Do you go Thor in this situation? Add a couple of Thors to the mix.
No, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
If they go for crazy mass Mutas, then it's a given. Okay, you can get a Thor, but yeah, if they're hovering around that 8-9 mark, we don't really know if he wants to go heavy Muta, or if he's just going to do this into Hive, or if he wants to play more of a true style where it's much heavier on the Baneling composition.
I like it. But you see the double medevac drop coming into the main here. is going to drop, and there is no Lings to greet them immediately, and Muta's not the best in this situation.
God.
So a lot more damage being done. Ling's going to...
He's nestled in there, right between the lair.
Does he get the Spire?
Pool, cancels that +1. Well, I think I was right on my prediction in control. I just don't see him building a lot more Mutas for the next few minutes.
No, he can't. It's literally impossible.
He picks off the Medivacs, though. He gets rid of these forces. But I think getting the Spire and that many units and the disruption he caused was certainly worth it.
Bit of a pause in terms of production from Serral, too. He hasn't remade the Spire yet.
You know what I don't like, though? He didn't start his 2-2 yet. He's had that armory forever. Could be really ahead on upgrades.
The poor Zergling. Can you imagine? I mean...
You're the chosen one
That's
in the
what I was
worst
gonna say.
way.
For Zerg, it's not a big deal because it's like, you know, they're bugs and they respond to the hive mind. But when it's like the Zealot, it's like, Jera Duel, it's your choice.
Yeah,
like,
but
I
they
become
also...
a Dragoon. Nope, we don't got those anymore. Damn.
I thought they still teleported out when they died.
Yeah, but it's a burning, fiery teleport out. It doesn't look like a fun one from Star Trek or something like that.
It's not like a water slide. So he's trying to finish his missile turret in the natural, but the geysers are still pretty exposed.
Dude, still nothing on the... There's no Roach Warren, there's no additional Spire, no Infestation Pit.
Yeah, he's
there
just
it is.
about to start another Spire.
Well, that's really late.
How many drones? Noise. 4 drones. Not bad at all. And the drop moves back over to the natural while this drop hits the 4th base. And Special, he is just rolling with these punches, jabbing left and right. Is 2-2, almost halfway done. He's got the drop back into the 3rd base now. And that Spire is still so very far away. The drones have to be conscripted into combat to finish those Marines off.
Worker, Rebellion rising up, and now Special is going to start to make his way to the middle of the map with the majority of his force. These drops have been pretty good. He has lost a couple of Medivacs, I will say, so it's not been completely one-sided.
His supply could be a lot higher if he'd be a bit more careful with some of these forces, but I feel like the pressure he's put on, the damage he's done, like there's just nothing going for Serral right now. He's going to be behind on the upgrades. He doesn't have the hive. Or even an infestation pit. So with all the resources he's banking, he's basically saying, please don't kill me before I get Mutalisks again.
Well played by Special so far. Now pushing up onto that high ground. Not a lot of Medivacs here because of all the drops he's been doing, but he has a big force, and right now the response is just Ling, Baneling, and Muta. And what I like about that force, too, is he's fought back the creep tumors pretty well.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing about this is what he wants to do is get the Mutalist count up now that the Spire is done. He wants to pull Special back to his base, buy himself some time, secure his expansions, get his resources going. But since there's been no Mutalisk presence, like you said, he's been able to deny this creep because he doesn't have to keep his units at home. And he's set up these Widow Mines by these rocks. He's creating a nice contain, and it's not, in the literal sense right outside his base, but he's basically saying if you want to go out of your base, you will be exposed, you will be off creep, and there will be Widow Mines everywhere.
Yep. And now, oh God, don't do it. Okay then. Oh, that could have been worse.
Oh, nope, nope.
That's pretty good.
That's a good mine shot. I'll take that any day. So 2-2's done. You're just waiting for Major to start, or Special to start that 3-3. He's got his 4th command center on the way, and he's just building Marines and Widow Mines.
Not a good drop.
Nothing else coming out yet.
Get out of there. And all of a sudden, by the way, Serral is starting to lock this down. A lot of these drops are not getting the damage they want, but to Special's credit here, he's taking a 4th, I believe, at that gold, and he's about to saturate it here pretty soon.
When you compare this to like Euthermal series earlier, one of the big things we talked about was map vision, and Special has a ton of vision out of the map. He can see pretty much everything that he needs to. He's got drops all over the place. Instead of a drone, you want to take this expansion? Well, you may have to reconsider how well these Banelings do is going to have a big impact on that. He doesn't have drilling claws yet, but look at this micro just pulling back the Marines, leaving the Marauders up front, being able to utilize the full DPS output of those bad boys and scanning again and again and again and again, denying those creep tumors.
Serral not going to be able to take that 5th base. It does go down. Still with the creep here, though, is able to get these Banelings into position, but a hot pickup from Special is going to evacuate most of the forces.
And there's that triple drop in the back of the natural expansion. These Marines under the cover of the mineral patches running through, gunning down drones, and pushing this army away. He's just going to morph the Banelings there. Well,
there you go.
Solid focus fire, just picks up. It's like, well, your mutas are all the way at the bottom base. Oh, you're going to move those way? Okay, well, now come back over toward the 4th. And Special's just not unrelenting pressure as the Banelings finally kill everything.
Yeah, that one was a costly one. That would have been a nice pickup there, but it's going to afford him an attempt to drop over here. But that 2's getting cleaned up. And again, Serral now asserts himself with that supply advantage.
Serral's doing a pretty good job for someone that's taken a pummeling, but the big thing I think here is that Special has also been able to secure the gold base.
Yeah.
So he's got the economy that the Terran wants in this position where he can say, hey, we're on equal income, and I've got mules.
But 3-3 upgrades for the Zerg player, and those upgrades have not been started for Special just yet. Mainly is going to connect with the Marauders actually at the front, tanking that pretty nicely. But I'm starting to worry too, a lot of these medevacs are going down with all these drops. But never mind, there's actually a crap ton of medevacs. Let's just go ahead and delete everything I just said.
His macro is as good as somebody that qualified for GSL Code S. Definitely not. In a normal NA player should lose those medevacs, and it's like, oh my god, I don't have any at all. But Special's like,
not
nope,
Special.
I'm becoming Korean. He's trying to push this base once again. He's relying on these Widow Mines to get some juicy shots. They are not coming, but he's trying.
Serral's starting to solidify though, and he is making 3 Ultras with those 3-3 upgrades going, and now we have the 3-3 upgrades from Special as well, so not skipping too many beats there. And that map control you talked about earlier, Nathanius, is really paying off. He's able to go ahead and start taking a 5th base over there. He sees that there is no 5th base for the Zerg player, so it's a little bit of like, he has a few different win conditions, and one of them is just starving out the Zerg at this point in time.
Yeah, well, the really cool part about this game isn't that Serral's like dead or anything. He's just taken a beating, but he's taken it, you know?
Yeah.
He's not collapsed, he hasn't broken. He's had to give up certain ground in some areas, but
he's in a tough spot, but he's not dead yet.
yeah, he's been hanging in there. That drop hits the southeast side though, as Special tries to push the front. He sees the Ultralisk. I'm wondering if another transition is coming. He certainly realized he has more than enough medevacs as the Liberator production begins. I think he's getting another starport too. I think he's building a reactor on it right now. So he's gonna move into a lot of Liberators. I love it. Liberators are gonna be great versus this composition. They're gonna be helpful for gunning down the Ultralisks.
And this might be the first time Serral has attempted to attack on this half of the map in the last, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes or so.
That's a good point. He hasn't crossed the middle of the field since the very beginning of this game.
He will get a cancel on his 5th base, which is nice. What a treat these ZvTs have been. We just had a nice match between Snoot and Kalazur, and here we have yet another one beginning to form. I mean, I could do this all day.
This has been an extremely action-packed map for sure. And solid hold there, defending the missile turret.
Whoa! That was expensive.
Those Widow Mines, though. And 4 Liberators being built at once. The weird thing that you pointed out earlier, the 3-3 has actually been done now for a little bit for Serral. Major is playing catch-up on that, despite the fact that he opened with an armory.
He's almost there, though.
Yeah, I like that he uses the Banelings, not just to hit the planetary and the SCVs, but also the turrets.
That worked out really nice. You can't repair something that's dead.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
So Max gonna fly towards the top side into the main base. 4 more Ultralisks are in production as he gets +1 ship weapons. Now he does get this medevac drop towards the Ultralisk cavern if he's able to get a position. That's nice. Gets all of the Mutalisks, save 1 lone survivor, and another drop to the natural. I think that drop from the main is actually gonna hit the northwest base now. So Special is just keeping up the pressure.
Really great drop attack here. But in the big fight, and now the Liberator's able to do out that damage that can start to thin out the Ultra's herd, because he's not going to win that fight in a straight-up toe-to-toe match. No fungals, by the way. One of the things missing that was so good for Snoot in the match prior.
Yep, he's got the Ultralisk count, but as the Liberator count rises, especially now that the Mutalisks are dead, he's just in a very awkward, uncomfortable position. And you know, Serral, he knows that he can't really engage into this, but he has to try and defend that gold base.
He's going to have to do it now.
And exactly, he's going to be forced to do it very soon. Giving this up hurts very badly, considering that Special now has that west side expansion.
Yeah, and that's it. And Liberator's going to make its way over here. And you can see this is basically the only base he's mining from, and even this base is starting to get thin there. So Serral, he's got the muscly army, but if he can't hold on to a base, that'll be how he loses, basically.
Yep. +1 ship weapons almost done. He's even getting high-sec auto-tracking for the planetaries as well as his missile turrets. A couple lanes are going to run into the left base, but not too big a deal. He's not hurting for money right now. He is still maxed out, and I assume we'll see that +2 start up. He's getting another command center. He's still dropping. The drones burrow, unburrow, run away. And 8 Corruptors coming out, but
interesting.
I don't believe he has a Greater Spire, so he can't really do a whole lot with them other than try to desperately deal with these Liberators.
Yeah, they'll be a good... I mean, they'll be okay for stopping the drops. They're going to be good for the Liberators, of course, which has been a big issue, like you said. But so much damage being done here, and all of a sudden, all that effort in this drop harass from Special is starting to really pay off right here. He's 1 position on this final mining base. Serral does not have a good engagement here. He's going to eventually have to engage. There's nothing else to fight. Waiting for the position. He does have Corruptors out now, so he can't actually deal with those Liberators. But again, Liberators deal so much damage over time that oftentimes they pay for themselves very quickly.
Yeah, this is really amazing in a weird way from Serral, just how well he's tried to survive and deal with all of this, constantly being forced inside of his own base, eating that hail of Liberator shots all over his Ultralisk army. Yes, the Corruptors will clean it up, but Special has the income. Special has the money. I really feel like when he practices this, he must just kill like half of his opponents.
Yes.
In the first like siege.
Who can keep up with this? I mean, it's like Serral and very few other people here.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed that the game is what it is, considering that Serral has, as you pointed out, been stuck on his own side of the map pretty much the entire game. A couple decent run-bys. I think he just realized, oh yeah, I don't have a spawning pool. Need another one of those.
We just saw Serral clean up like virtually everything, and you'd think that that would be really detrimental to the Terran, but nope, those are all trades. You look back at his army, and you're like,
He's
okay.
only got one base that's actually mining. It's his right side base, because the gold got destroyed, his third's mined out, and his natural was destroyed.
Even lost his spawning pool and during all of that, so he's not able to produce a kind of a core uniform. He does find this top left-hand base, which is really important. If that base goes up, it's just completely lights out. Because keep in mind, Major has been mining the gold for a while, so that's thinned out. It's basically down to the left side, and Serral,
oh god, he attacked his own command center. I just realized that. Fix, repair it, repair it. No,
let it
come
burn.
on.
Let it burn.
Come on.
It's time. Well,
I'm triggered.
Terran buildings can fly, and sometimes they get shot by their own friends.
Being able to repair your stuff is not an excuse to intentionally break it in control.
Yeah, I suppose there's some truth to that. What I want to say here, though, is Serral, who's been getting beat up all game long, is like one massive fight away from snowballing and winning. That's one of the things that this army can do.
He has enough Ultralisks to push through a ton of stuff. It's just the counter to that in this position is just retreating through the endless torrential downpour of Liberator fire.
No.
He has a lot of Liberators. If he tries to push through it, he will die.
And those Lings might make their way actually to that left side base, which I don't think has many defenses over there. So Special is going to push in. He needs to win a big fight right here. Any big fight between these armies, that's going to be it. There's no replenishing this. And Serral's going to back up here. He is transfusing those Ultralisks, keeping them alive. Once again, giving up the gold base to hopefully fight a better day.
I still think the most important thing right now for Special to do is with these Liberators in the middle is to just, I guess he got that base, right? So it doesn't even matter anymore. Just sit back. If he thinks he needs anything else, get it and then attack.
The drones, they're going to give it up.
They're going to show.
They're going to let the Marine know. He's already on the comm right now.
Yeah.
He's already telling his friends.
Why are their drones headed towards the top left?
They're just going back and forth.
They're wild drones, you know? Like neutral critters.
Oh, yeah, okay. Feral.
Yeah.
That does
Feral
happen.
drones.
Play the campaign, man. They're out there.
Yeah, that's true.
They're waiting. How do you deal with these Liberators? Like you said, though, well, okay, here you go. You flank around, get a couple of picks.
Those Corruptors got some smooth moves in the last couple of patches.
They did.
They're a little bit more nimble on their feet.
3 just died for free.
Wouldn't mind. Takes out a couple of Lings, but yeah, that top left base, there's something there. Oh, okay, it's just changelings. Never mind.
Those aren't real. Watch this. Watch, Nate. I've never seen this.
It's gonna blow up. I've seen this.
Do it.
That you see it, and then you die in the game, and you realize that's why you died.
That's how you go out, by the way.
A little alien just pops right out the room.
Nothing is subtle about changelings,
Nice,
except for their
nice
entire other
sci-fi
existence,
horror
I guess.
movie. Yeah, exactly. Fusion Core, Liberator range would be nice. Probably, I think that's going to be like a deal sealer here to help with the positioning of the Corruptors.
That was expensive, really expensive. I think there was 4 medevacs that went down and a chunk of units. He is making a 4th.
Major is not aware that there's a base in the top left, is he? Does he know about that? Okay, he gets the drop in the bottom right, but does he know about this base? No. Okay.
Special don't know. He's going to want to. That Marine, I guess he never got on the phone, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And no signal that far away. It's a big map.
No, it is true.
It's a big map. Need a lot of towers.
Connectivity in the future is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well,
they are on a space station as well.
That too. Old tech, perhaps.
There, I keep waiting for the push forward.
He's just
looks
outside
like
the liberation zones. They're all kind of right behind where the army was.
Man. Special is losing. He's just hemorrhaging a lot of units in these fights. Like, that was another 3 or 4 Liberators that go down. Medevac goes down. Is it enough? No, Serral's going to back away. And why not? Like, every time they have that kind of engagements, it's Special that's the one losing really key units.
He needs to get Liberator range to help play around where these Corruptors are.
You can't go to the sky? Oh, no. Well, I mean, there's no good option. It's just like,
You did.
This is like, well, I'm going to die on my terms. Backs away.
You'd rather die flying through the air epically than just...
Oh, Serral's going to fight here. He has to. There's nowhere backing up now. A lot of this army is very stimmed, and the medevac count, all of a sudden, what I said earlier, now became true. And this could be the final engagement. A lot of that's Marauders, by the way.
He's lost so many medevacs during all of this. Yeah, exactly. There's very few Marines to kill the Corruptors, but also nothing that can really heal these Marauders. And as the Queens dump their last bit of energy into the Ultralisks, those Marauders, that Marauder count still able to get a few of them on the way out.
Supplies getting close to dead even. What a back and forth game.
He still doesn't know about that top left base.
He's going to die from that base if he does, by the way.
That base will actually end up killing him because this left side base has been harassed pretty reasonably, but also it's running out of money. He hasn't taken a new base. He's mined out the gold completely.
Oh my God. You know what's crazy about this too is that Special has been dropping and harassing forever. And the moment he lets up, a completely vulnerable naked base goes down. It's like the most karma thing you've ever seen. Where he's like, well, that's why I should have just kept dropping forever.
Yep. He just scanned the bottom right. He's like, where is he getting all this money from? And you know what's going to happen. I'd like to see his face when he finally sees that this base has been mining forever. He never got Liberator range either, right? No.
I think by the time he came around to it, he just couldn't afford it. He's just the money he's spending is to survive.
Yep. He's definitely lost a lot of the income advantage
there's Marines there.
And all of these forces are battered and beaten. These guys have been on the front forever. Never got a chance to come home and heal.
Two medevacs there. No energy, of course. Every stim is another nail in the coffin, basically, but it's also essential. So it's not like I'm sitting here criticizing him. It's just that he, all of a sudden, is suffering from that.
He's in a very dire position because he has medevacs. He has a few of them.
All right,
he could throw some units at that top base, but he just doesn't know about it.
And it's just going
to... I mean, there's one Ultra. You can dance around that.
He has lived a great life, that Ultralist, by the way.
Yeah.
He was guarding a base that nobody knows about.
Guard the base that he doesn't know about.
Yeah.
And just
get that job, by the way, if you can.
Hashtag just chilling.
There's that Muta from earlier.
That one guy who lived. Yeah, look at that.
Well, look at him.
He's doing great things.
He's doing great things. Oh, and Infestor's stepping out here now as well.
Uh-oh. He's trying to push up towards this base because he's like,
this army is so low in health. He's going to push forward. Not much in the way of Liberator support behind this. The Ultras are going to commit to it. They're going forward and now disengaging. Corruptor count's still really high. The Infestor in the background gets, I think it's got like 2 health.
This is so frustrating because the reason why he's so conservative with the Liberators is because he doesn't have the range upgrade. And he doesn't have the range upgrade because Liberator positioning has caused him to bleed out way too many Bioforces.
I think another base is dying.
I think that hatch is still alive. Yeah, this base gets pushed back. He's got Burrowed Ling under there. Still doesn't know about the top left.
It literally is just that base.
Yeah.
Well, here comes the big fight, though. The Corruptors do clean up all the Liberators. The army's retreating down to 1 medevac in Special. You played so good, but you forgot about the 12 o'clock base. And that could be all she wrote. The Corruptors making their way over there to that command center that never was realized.
Okay. He didn't see the top base, and he killed his own base as the planetary finished morphing.
It's a fickle beast, that game of StarCraft.
I'm in love with every single thing that Special did this game, and I'm insanely disappointed as well. Great game by Serral. I cannot believe he survived that onslaught.
That was a Foreigner, kind of dark beyond level ZvT there. I was ready to call Serral good and dead. He had to give up the gold base twice or 3 times. His base and his main was in shambles. I thought Special played absolutely stunning. If you're not impressed by both these guys, but in particular Serral, well, I don't know what would impress you.
If Serral was anyone else, if you're any lesser of a man than that, you do die very quickly. Special brought insane pressure. He got the Spire very early on. He was dropping the main, dropping the natural, hitting the 3rd, checking the 4th, denied all the creep spread, got tons of drone kills, and a few things like Serral just hung in there, refused to die, and took every opportunity that he could get. 8 Lings surround a planetary that's at full health, that's about to finish. 10 Marauders show up. Don't worry, we'll help you kill the planetary instead. And that should have been a base locked down because that was the moment where Serral was broke. He's still throwing a couple Lings around. He didn't have enough to go smash that. He didn't have the mass Corruptors yet.
Oh no, it was only Ling counterattacks that were ever going to do anything.
And then he didn't have the money to get enough Liberators or Liberator range. So the Corruptors were able to kill the Liberators very easily because the Liberators had to get so close to the enemy. That's a very frustrating game to watch because I feel like a few self-inflicted mistakes there cost Special.
Yeah, 100% did, and that's
should have
just
been a
us.
very
I
hard
mean,
fought victory.
Think about Special sitting in that seat as well. He's got to forget about it. Obviously, he's still in this best of 5. It's just one game. Everything else he did other than the mistakes was stunning. He played very, very well.
I loved the pressure that he brought to the table. Unrelenting aggression, the Hellion drop into the 4 Hellbat drop. Everything was golden about it. But at the end of the day, he did not, keep himself composed. And now he's down in this very, very, very weird situation. 0-1 to this man in the bottom right of Abyssal Reef, the blue Zerg player. He's Serral. And in the top left position, we have this man from Mexico, the red Terran player, who hopefully won't kill his own command center this game. He is Special.
That was a doozy of a match. Both players showed us their skills, I'll tell you. I mean, yes, mistakes did happen, but at the other point here as well, that's part of what makes StarCraft so beautiful, is it is a game of mistakes, by the way.
True.
No one's ever played a perfect game. It's just a question of how few mistakes you can do, how many you can force on your opponent. And Special kept up a level of play for a large part of that game that I thought was absolutely stunning. And I think it's so cool that in a game as evenly matched as what these two showed, it was Serral's patience and it was Special's mistakes that ended up tipping it over. But in like the 23rd minute, you know, like it came deep in the game after both these guys gave it all they got. And again, a huge tap that to Serral, because there were so many times where a lot of lesser Zergs would have been like, you know what? I have to defend this base. I'm attacking those Liberators. I'm losing, all that kind of stuff.
You ask any Zerg, it's like, hey, what do you do if someone kills your Spire right after it finishes, cancels your upgrades, blows up half your drones, kills all your lings, denies all your creep spread, and delays your 4th? It's like, well, I'm probably dead.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, it's versus Special as well. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely dead. And Serral just refused to die. Very, very, very well played series so far out of both players, save for the very unexplainable mistakes. But we will see what happens on Abyssal Reef. Obviously, a much shorter distance between 2 players. This is a map that promotes that aggression. You have 2 openings into your natural. It is not a pocket base. It plays very differently than Proxima Station.
I'm really curious to see what we see from Special. I think it's going to be him that kind of mixes it up more often than not. Serral, especially with that last game, if you ever needed a confidence booster, as you said, there were so many things that went wrong for him, and he was still able to bounce back from that. That's got to give you a big sense of like, okay, well, as long as I don't take the damage I took earlier, this game probably will go even better for me, and I'll feel stronger that way. We're seeing just pretty normal openings from Serral. Speed, a couple very standard there. Queen just beginning to spread the creep, and then it's on Special side that we're starting to see a little. Well, I'm gonna wait. No, it's Hellions, so maybe not different actually.
Yeah, I still think that the Hellion openings against Zerg in this meta are not bad. The only thing you're really ever worried about is that build that we were talking about, I think it was in the U-Thermal game, where the Ravager Rush can be very difficult to deal with. But outside of that, Hellions are still great.
Full scout here, though.
Yeah, especially since a lot more players have gotten better at defending stuff like the 2-1-1 with just Zerglings, so that also encourages the Hellion play. But it's going to be a Mine follow-up.
Okay, he does
Mine drop. I like it. Reaper Hellion probably run by into the natural while the medevac flies into the main base and goes for those Widow Mine drops.
And Serral's going to get another look-see here.
He does have Overlord speed about to finish, so he should be able to see everything. Yeah, he'll be able to see everything with this Overlord in the bottom.
And is he going to be able to spot the Widow Mines themselves? They're being hidden so far.
He doesn't know. Could just be 4 Hellions again, for all he knows.
Yeah, no Spore Crawlers queued up. Obviously no lair, so no detection pretty much whatsoever. It's going to be a nuisance. Well, it can make Spore Crawlers.
Yeah, he could drop the natural as well. That ridge is also very exposed. I don't believe he has any Spore Crawlers. I like that he's going for the Raven follow-up again. The Raven harass is always very nice. If there's no fast Spire, it's just free damage and damage and damage and damage because of the number you have. I like that he drops the mine specifically in this little position where it can definitely burrow. Wow, very last second move to save that. Gets both mines out of there. Didn't really get what he was looking for, but at the very least he didn't lose the mines for free.
Even canceling the Spore Crawler, Serral is just, he's kind of hitting that level where every little move he makes seems to be kind of the right one.
Is pointing out that this Marine is very lazy. He's like, I won't kill the Overlord anyway, it can run fast.
Yeah.
Goes to the burrow on the third.
Very defeatist about it.
Yep. Just trying to run that Reaper around. Third CC in the way. Lair coming in.
Oh, he was even going to try to build a building
Just trying to be fancy.
to dodge it, but he doesn't get it. But very minimal damage, by the way, from the opening from Special. Completely different from last game where the opening was devastating. Very strong for him.
Those Hellions into Hellbats very, very powerful. He still has some Hellions out on the map. He wants to push back the creep. He has the Raven. He doesn't... Okay, oh, he's just going straight for the mineral line. He's not going to chance the pressure here. 4 drones very quickly picked off, and he's going to immediately run back out. Is he going to be able to save him? Nope. Looks like 2 Hellions are stuck. Oh, he's got the mind to retreat too, but that splash actually gets just enough of the Lings.
It's really fun watching players at this level because they're, you know, even little things like pulling back the way he did, getting most of the Hellions out of there, just very well done by Special. It was never going to do absolutely massive damage, but that's how much it could have done.
And okay, not risking it with the Raven just yet. Very expensive unit, very powerful unit. He's got a stim coming in. He has the +1 attack. Where is the armor? Where is the armor?
They're cooking it up. They're working on it. They're talking about it.
Yeah, they're thinking about it.
It's not a
The
guarantee.
1-1 is on the way for Serral, though. Always nice to have that advantage. It's such a big difference in terms of how fights play out between single Marines and Zerglings in these small numbers when you're lacking that upgrade or leading in that upgrade, for that matter.
Good target fire here from the auto turret as well.
5 drones on the auto turret. Like I said, those bad boys rack up that damage. You must get a Muta or Scriptor to deal with it. That's a really sad way to die.
From a Widow Mine like that?
Yeah, just kind of sitting over it.
Yeah.
You just waiting. It's like sitting, it's like waiting in line. You're just waiting in line to go die, Jeff.
Most things that do kill overlords, they're sitting over the top of, though. So I guess it's like kind of, their species is used to it, I suppose.
I guess. So the Raven's almost got enough energy for 2 more turrets. The third has landed for Special, and a couple of Zerglings are trying to run by towards it, but those Hellions are going to spot it. The Marines are here, and 2 auto turrets get dropped, but there you go. The drones are pulled away, only get 2 kills. You know you can kill larva with the auto turret as well, 2 shots.
They kill everything. They're really good. I like it sitting back there, and actually, even look at the timing of pulling this back. It's just as the mutas are queued up. So on some level, he must have known that his time and availability to do that kind of tactic is gone.
Killing the creep is so important. I really like if you keep the Raven alive and you're able to utilize it, you save so many scans on creep tumors. It's very difficult because the Raven is not, you know, the fastest unit in the game. It's pretty easy to snipe with something like Mutalisks, but if you can avoid wasting those mules that you could possibly have, it's a huge win. And this is really, really nice. If he clears this creep and backs off, he doesn't need to push here. If he wants to, he certainly, you know, that's his prerogative, but he's gotten a lot done here without even needing to drop a single scan.
He needs to be careful. The muta's actually going to circle around. They have not been revealed just yet. So are there missile turrets like the natural? None. So that's going to be harmful.
As Link is exposed, he drops the auto turret with the army to help. He's preempting a little bit of an engagement there, but yeah, you said it. The mutas are here, and there are no missile turrets, so the Marines are going to run over. He's like, hey, got myself cheeky 7 SCVs, no big deal.
But meanwhile, good harass from Special as well. Like you said, he was able to fight back that creep. He's now denying a 4th even longer.
Yep.
And as long as he doesn't lose this unit when the Baneling speed finishes, which is coming up here in a moment, then I would say this is a huge mission success for that force that's out there. But should he lose that whole army, this can turn around pretty quick in terms of who it's good for, I guess.
So 2-2 is on the way for both players. Actually pretty evenly lined up. The +2 armor is a little bit behind, but not that big of a deal. +1 attack for the Mutalisks is also finishing up. That'll help with smacking down those turrets and being annoying, picking off the medevacs. Is the Raven still alive? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
That army, that's what was pushing back all that creep.
Yeah. I think in this last patch especially, the harass capability of the Raven has made it so nice to carry around with your army. I love it. We don't see enough of it.
We're starting to see more, though, to your point, which is really, really cool. This base is getting lined up for some harass on the left side there. Some Lings and Banelings making their way over there. Zergs will typically line this up with also an attack at the main army, because if you're not paying attention, a couple of Baneling connections can really just turn the game on its head.
Yeah, there's a lot of Lings coming through. I don't believe there's too many No, he's got enough Banelings that if these SCVs get caught up or something, he can definitely do a lot. He gets one of the Widow Mines with those Banes. There's 3 Banelings running forward. He was trying to find those SCVs. He will not.
They're gone.
Special, very good job dealing with this harass. That was one of the things I was sitting behind him watching his games versus Iasonu, And that was a big thing. IA was throwing a lot of those Ling Bane flanks and run-bys and counters, and Special did a phenomenal job at dealing with it. So we're definitely seeing a little bit of that here. He is not very easy to get those run-bys on, but here come the Banelings with a big fight right on the edge of the creep.
And he's gonna wait till he comes onto that creep. His Special did lose the Raven, and that also a Ling counterattack on the left side over here. But Marine's gonna move over and probably go ahead and clear that up. It's all about this 4th base right now. Giant connection with a lot of the bio, but there's still some behind that.
It's the Marauders, the Banelings, a lot of the Banelings just hit Marauders, and what he needs to do here is kill this base, but just keep the spread on the Marines, be ready to retreat with at least 12 of them to defend against the Mutalisks.
Oh.
And there we go, the Widowmine gets the rest of those Banelings, but I think he might have barely lost too many Marines. He has to retreat.
Yeah, he lost a lot there. He's gonna get all the medevacs out of there though, so it's kind of the really important group of units that if you were to lose, that would be huge.
Dan, it's so rare that after a fight like that, you look at the supply and you see that the Terran is still ahead, 30 and 40. His macro is something to marvel at. Building mines, continuing to add Liberators. If he's building Liberators now, yeah, he's still got 10 medevacs after all those losses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he's taking a 4th really cleanly behind that. It was actually Serral's money that spiked up if we're going to be super kind of on top of our criticism here. And it has not really been spent in the sense of like, there's no tech switch happening, no huge upgrade surge.
Denies the 5th. These Lings are going to run in towards the left, but it seems like Special is on top of his game. He's going to take some damage here. Oh, okay, so he's got
That's nice.
Some harass on the Planetary.
Pulling back Special's good there.
Yeah, really, really nice back and forth. I like this a lot. Really seeing the use of these alleyways, the run-bys, but also Special taking a great advantage of the attack pass that he has to move through to make the pushes on the bases like the 4th. Gets inside of the main base once again, straight down to 9 drones.
Wow.
Don't think he's gonna get the Spire. Pulls back immediately to defend
repaired.
the turret. Just very, very aware of everything that's happening in the game at all times.
Special is playing on a different level right now. I mean, Serral, it's so funny because like a lot of what impresses us about Serral is how he's holding on. It is like the Special story, and it's as long as he doesn't start to kill his own orbital or make the mistake of not finding a drone transfer to a hidden base, it looks like his TVZ matchup is darn near unbeatable, even though he's down 0-1, which is so weird to say.
A pretty awesome game so far here. This Liberator is getting back towards the natural, possibly going to siege up the gases or maybe even the main base. Meanwhile, Special, he still has the supply lead, and he is making his way towards that center base once more.
Go ahead and drop some Liberator harass back here, which also reveals that there's no Hive, by the way. Also good intel. And this is going to win him some position. The Queen should eventually take care of that. Serral's still looking for the big death blow. They are fighting on creep here. Specialist goes for the splits. Not a lot of Marauders here tanking, and a lot of Bao does die, but with it, Serral's going to back up, actually.
Defends the 3rd. Again, the run-bys not getting those big base clearing pushes that he's hoping for. And a great Widowmine shot. Jesus.
That Widowmine wanted to tip the scale in the favor, and actually somehow the Liberator, that Queen must have wandered into the zone. You don't do that. A lot of Banelings still surviving here for Serral. He's doing a good job of attacking in waves with the Banelings as opposed to just throwing everything at it. Cleans up the main eventually. And again, behind this though, it's 4-base Terran versus now 4-base Zerg. 5th base continuously getting denied, and even a 5th base being moved over here for Special.
Yep, he's floating the main out there. He's going to deny this center base as you were talking about. The Mutalist count is starting to swell, and Special's response is, okay, I got Thors coming out. No big deal. Can still use the Widowmines with these bad boys and the Marines. He's going to lose some SCVs, but he's still got a pretty reasonable amount of them. Didn't lose too many just yet, I would say.
But in doing that, he loses his 4th base. The 5th base is denied. He's looking to make connections as Serral with these Banelings, and he's going to get some good connections there. But he just lost 2 hatcheries, so you can, again, see that supply difference. And even with that big swing of army dying, it still looks like Special's way on top.
Yeah, really amazing non-stop hits left and right. I mean, this feels very much so like the last game, except more openings for him to make these pushes through are just working so much better for him. And he is really just, he is taking all of these run-bys in stride and flawless execution. Special's played a hell of a game here on Abyssal Reef.
And he's continuing to keep up that momentum. Like, yes, he did lose a lot of SCVs and expansion behind it, but in doing so, he was dealing what might have been the death blow to Serral. Finally, that supply differential is huge in favor of Special. He is going to have the drilling claws for the Widowmines. He's starting to get a good Liberator count. And I don't know that there's much in the way of an answer for Serral. Like, you can be patient.
He's got so much.
But it gets to a certain point where it's like your patience is actually going to, you know, it's going to be futile.
Yep. I mean, with Thors and Marauders, like they can eat so many Banelings. They can deal to mutas.
Oh.
These mutas get clipped a little bit trying to run towards that central area, but the reinforcements, like he's just cranking out. He does not miss a beat with his macros. Like, oh, he took this base. Okay, got it. And this stuff like this is important because it was not finding a base like this in the last game that cost him that map. He's here and just constantly he's making that attack while also remembering to repair the turret in his base so that the Mutalisks can't knock everything down. Serral with the desperation, contaminate on the racks. He's like, yep, that's gonna do the trick.
Right. Yeah, it's looking pretty bleak. And if you look at the production tab up there, Serral doesn't even have a high. There's nothing he can tip over to. He's just been spending money to survive. And now with Special sieging that high ground on that basically solely mining base, I feel like Serral's numbered. He's going to have to do a fight here, and with that fight incurs losses. And with those losses, he can't replace them.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have anything else to work with. He's trying to micro the hell out of these mutas to get a few more SCV
There's the Thor
kills,
hit.
but he takes the Thor shot. And now most of the mutas are very low on health, so he's got to wait just a little bit for them to regenerate. And try, look at these drones. They're patrolling. They just don't even know what to do with themselves.
Well, it's a pseudo hit
They're
base.
becoming feral drones in control.
No, it's terrible. Need to get an Overlord over there to start whipping him in shape. He's going to long distance mine from this base. He's attempting, again, what is essentially a hidden base up there. And that's why they're patrolling, by the way, is because he doesn't want to give up that he has that base or is trying to. We're going to have a big fight here. Serral's shoving everything he's got. He still has a lot of Banelings behind here. Good.
He just he
ignoring
leaves
the
all
Marauders.
the Marauders behind. He's like,
well,
yes, let the Banelings hit the Marauders.
He was ignoring them, but he ended up actually, targeting the Marauders, which is a fantastic trade for Special. And you can see, again, Special is coming ahead in that fight that he was retreating from, excuse me. And it's Serral who just cannot keep up with this. He is going to go ahead and start mining from that 12 o'clock base.
His army really feels those stims, but with the medevac count that he's been able to maintain in these games, it's nuts. He has so much to work with. The macro is unstoppable. He's up 100 supply in control.
GG. I mean, what better GG than that? He heard the ghost of what you just said and was like, I've had enough. Well played by Special. That was a masterclass TBZ, minus the mistakes, Nate. You had called for it. Well, that's what it looks like. And this guy's been training in Korea. He's been a great top player since even the MLG days of StarCraft 2. And it's nice to see it start to come into shape. I mean, it's just 1-1, but it feels like, it strangely feels like a 2-0 or something. It feels like it's all been about him.
Well, I hate to rag on this because I do respect the skill of Special so much, but I mean, if he hadn't blown up his own command center in game one, it very well might be a 2-0 right now. He has played damn near perfect. The control is phenomenal. Maybe he's overstimming a bit, but he has so many medevacs, it feels like it doesn't even end up hurting him in the big fights. And then he deals with the run bys. No issue at all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see flaws here, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's a bit of overstimming, but every Terran player does that when they're harassing this much nonstop because you need that stim.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, he's keeping up the medevac count, but it's not even just production. He actually does an amazing job of retaining the medevacs that he has.
Yes.
A lot of players will drop a third, drop a natural, and kind of forget about it. You look over there, he's microing them perfectly and boosting away. Then the mutas hit the natural. Well, he's already repairing that single missile trait, like you said. Like, he's just so on top of everything. For Serral, this is that gut check moment where you're like, yeah, he got a confidence booster winning that first game, but he got a little bit of help from Special, which is interesting. And in this game, not getting that help, it was a pretty clear... It's hard to call it one-sided because I think Serral did such a good job fighting against it, but really, I don't know that Special was ever in danger, so you do kind of call it one-sided. It was a good effort from Serral, but it was never... I don't know that Special was ever going to lose that game.
Yep. Well, I think one of the biggest macro mistakes that Terran players make is they focus on just building their Marines, and they don't take the time to tab over to their factory, keep building the mines, keep building the medevacs, and that's one of those reasons why you used to see Terrans float thousands of gas because they're so focused on just trying to replace that bio, but he's done a great job, and we have brought this series to a 1-1 standstill in the bottom right, spawning as the blue Zerg player, tied 1-1. He is Serral. And we did just get a pause, so hopefully everything is okay. Special is asking for an admin to come make sure whatever is okay. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to get right back into things shortly.
I want to take this time to thank everyone for tuning in and hanging out with us. WCS Austin has been incredible. It's a great city, good people, good audience. We've had a really nice time here. I think Hilaris has done a great job hosting the desk. We have an awesome observer in Mapu. He did Katowice, I believe, as well. Did he? Or you and I were the two that weren't there, actually.
Yeah.
But just a great team here, and it's been a lot of good games. The games have finally picked up, by the way. I would say day one was pretty disappointing in terms of games.
All
on
the
our
matches
stream.
today have gotten pretty crazy.
Look at that guy. Really?
Yeah.
You're missing a hell of a match, young man. That's exactly right.
Yeah, so
Panda bear me.
other guy looks like he has some really good mechanics.
This is my favorite part, actually. Just show pictures of the audience and give me something to tease. But I see nothing but handsome young people right there, so I can't actually say anything. Oh, San Francisco hat? Never mind. Your team sucks. We got something out of it. That's good.
Yeah.
Nope, those are just good people right there. That's Lambo.
Great folks.
Loses and then gets in the audience and supports everybody
Because
else.
he likes
That's a
to
good guy.
watch people play video games. Dank Shrine. There you go. Lots of people coming out from all over. We got the ticker. I feel special. There you go. Someone in the audience feels special.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you guys can hang out with us the entire time, that'll be an incredible feat because we are heading into game number 3 and it's about 7:15 p.m. I mean, there's somebody back
been
here
so many
crunching the
long
numbers
games.
and they're like, we're not gonna make it.
Yeah, there's been so many long games today. It has been a journey through space and time.
This series could be the longest. And I'll tell you what, there's obviously the part of me that's like, I will fall over and pass out. But there's the other part of me that's like, these first 2 games were 2 of the best games of the entire tournament, I think. I mean, well, maybe not the second one as much, but Serral holding on and coming back in game number 1 is one of the absolute best. I mean,
amazing.
Kalazur Snoot also put on a hell of a show. Those guys battled it out all 5 games.
The TVZs have been extraordinary.
They have
I think especially when you think about just this bracket. You know, we had the chance that all the the Zergs would swarm over everybody and knock them out, but we still have a pretty balanced setup moving forward in terms of the races. So there's still something for everybody left in the tournament. If you are a Terran player, I mean, well, obviously we got one right now, but we do have more coming up.
Well,
Protoss, we've got
Neeb Showtime. That's as good as it gets for foreigner PvP, and it's 2 huge names that are both favorites to win the tournament. So they're hitting in the round of 8. That's going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And those guys clash. It is awesome.
Awesome.
We are just waiting for an update on whatever it is that may have gone wrong with Special's setup, whatever it is that is.
He is in a StarCraft 2 go-kart, is what those are called. And he's talking to an admin right now, having a bit of a difficult time with something.
All right, so it's just a computer issue, it seems. It's going to just take us a minute or 2 to get around, and we'll be back into the game. Thanks for bearing with us.
Oof. They're changing computers. Okay, so a bit of a longer break. Nice.
Yeah, well, just got to roll with it. We'll hopefully get back into the game as soon as possible.
What do you think of the trophy, Nathanius? It was designed by former DJ and musician Perplexer, now known as Mark Odets.
It's nice.
It's one of the masterminds behind all StarCraft 2.
The design looks shockingly similar to the 2 in StarCraft 2, and I feel like that wasn't a coincidence.
Yeah, that's what they were going for.
There may have been some inspiration taken, so I feel like there's also a credit there that goes to the original art guy that picked the StarCraft 2 logo when they announced it 10 years ago.
Okay, well, Nate, I'd love to hear more about what your thoughts are on trophies and stuff, but it seems like with this massive change, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. So, guys, we will be right back with this amazing TVZ. Don't go anywhere.
battle begins. Join us.
A fearless and honorable warrior, Phoenix embodied the best aspects of the Ire Protoss he served. In life, Phoenix waged his tireless battles against the enemies of the Templar, first as a zealot, then a dragoon. Before his death, his consciousness, including all of his memories and emotions, was uploaded into a sophisticated data network as part of the secret Purifier project. When the Protoss leader Artanis sought a weapon to aid in his fight against Amon, he encountered the remnants of the Purifier project, along with the Phoenix prototype. It was then that he was activated. Phoenix has returned as a valiant AI warrior who will sacrifice anything to protect his people. Noble to the end, he dominates the battlefield by switching between 3 armor suits with unique abilities. Phoenix's armor suits are located on his top bar, and only one of them can be active at any time. Each suit runs on energy that cannot recharge while the suit is in use, so you must strategically swap out suits when they are low on life, energy, or shields. The Praetor Armor is the first suit, and it allows Phoenix to fight in the middle of the action. In this mode, he can unleash a thunderous charge against enemies to damage and briefly stun them. He also has access to a shield capacitor, which fully restores his shields in situations where he needs to absorb damage in order to protect his army. Whirlwind is another critical ability when Phoenix has to clear large amounts of enemies quickly to avoid being overwhelmed. His second suit, the Solarite Dragoon, deals massive amounts of damage to large areas. Solar Cannon is a powerful attack that strikes a row of ground units, while Solarite Flare hits all foes in the air. Both of these abilities can be unleashed rapidly by using Arsenal Overcharge, which briefly removes all cooldowns for his other abilities, allowing for a massive burst of damage. Lastly, the Cybros Arbiter gives Phoenix a powerful support form. The Arbiter's stasis field can cut an enemy attack wave in half, letting Phoenix and his ally eliminate their foes in smaller, more manageable groups. Use Stasis Field to disable high-threat units like siege tanks or void rays while you take down weaker enemies. If you find yourself outnumbered, Phoenix also has a recall ability that will teleport his forces or his allies' forces to his position on the map. Finally, the Cybros Arbiter has a cloaking field that will hide your units from the enemy, provided you take out their detectors first.
No sacrifice is too great.
Unlike other Protoss commanders, Phoenix leads a group of Protoss champions, whose personalities have also been converted to AIs. Use the Purifier Conclave to unlock up to 6 of these elite units. Each of them possesses unique abilities and bolstered stats. When killed, they will automatically transfer to a new body if one is available, so make sure you have replacements ready for them. The first champion is the Zealot Caldalis, whose source personality comes from a close aid to Hierarch Artanis. His leap ability and swift attack speed helps him take out enemies quickly. Next is the Adept Talus, who was once an important ally to Zeratul. Her invulnerable shades will fight enemies while her glaive cannon shots bounce between them. Phoenix is also joined by the immortal Tal'Darin, a legendary warrior who helped Jim Raynor rescue Admiral Stukov. He can draw enemies together, making them especially vulnerable to his area of effect attack. The champion Colossus Warbringer is based on the programming behind an extraordinary Reaver. Its basic attacks will slow an enemy's attack and movement speeds, and he also has a high single-target damage attack. The AI personality of the Scout Mojo excels at controlling airspace. Mojo's attacks will stun enemy air units, and his area of effect missile strike makes him extremely formidable. Phoenix's army would not be complete without Clolarian, the original leader of the Purifiers. His carrier is equipped with an anti-air beam and special bomber fighters that do area of effect damage. Altogether, Phoenix's army of Purifiers is a mighty force that can bring destruction or salvation. Between his 3 unique armor suits and 6 legendary champions, Phoenix offers highly customizable gameplay with many paths to victory on the battlefield. Which will you choose?
Revel in our triumphs.
And we are back. Thank you again for bearing with us, ladies and gentlemen, to WCS Austin, where we have sorted everything out, and we are just about ready to get back into this series. The map is loading, and it's all tied up after a bit of a topsy-turvy Terran versus Zerg in control.
Yep. Just felt like everyone needed to kind of take a moment to take a deep breath.
A really, really deep breath. A really deep breath.
That would be a deep breath.
You'd have some pretty insane lung capacity if you took a breath that entire break.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to take your cue on this. If any of you did take a deep breath that entire time, see us afterwards, because you are a physical freak and we've got ways to make money off of you.
That's right. We are loaded into the game. In the bottom right of Newkirk Precinct, we have the blue Zerg player. He is Serral. He faces off against this man in the southwest from Mexico, the red Terran player. He is Special.
Nate, good or bad Newkirk for the drop style we're seeing from Special?
I like it.
Spot.
I mean, you've got the bottom area, right? But the thing is, it basically screams drop me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
Like
if you're a Zerg player, it screams defend me.
Yeah.
So you don't have those angles that you get on like Proxima Station, because the main base is really only exposed to that drop angle, because you usually take that low ground third. But it does give you that kind of, you know, that bouncing back and forth that you can do between those bases. And if the Zerg chooses to take the top right base, then you can still work the cliff a little bit. So I don't mind it. I think that this map has a lot of open area. The Zerg can very easily, in a central zone, kind of around where this wonderful World Championship Series logo is, centralize your army in this position for the big pushes.
Is that the trophy behind StarCraft right there?
Yeah, it looks uncannily similar, huh?
I am starting to see all the pieces of this puzzle being put together.
That's
here.
right. The trophy actually went back in time to go behind the StarCraft logo.
It's been hiding there in plain sight the entire time.
Yeah, it's the long con.
Do you think these players knew that? That they were competing for something that had already existed?
For 8+ years? Maybe.
I'll tell you what.
Maybe.
The rabbit hole gets deeper. It just keeps getting deeper.
You know, you could make a lot of triangles on this map, but I'm not saying that there isn't something fishy going on. We have the Reaper crossing the map as Zergling speed begins. He's going for that factory with the reactor behind it, probably going for Hellion into drop or Banshee or Raven.
Let's just skip and get to the cool part where they start killing each other forever for like 20 minutes. That was really cool.
That's this series in a nutshell. Well, not really in a nutshell, but that's this series. Just both players desperately trying to kill each other.
You ever thought about that, Nate? The saying in a nutshell?
I think the idea is that you're trying to be brief in your explanation, and that is the idea that you can't.
You think so? That's what they're getting at?
Yeah.
That's that in a nutshell? And
you know, I never thought about literally
What's
trying.
anything in a nutshell?
That's true.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. There's a lot of dark questions in life like that no one knows the answers to.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, nobody knows.
Good luck commentating when I'm asking you these hard-hitting questions like that, Nathanius.
Yeah.
Reaper's going to back away. That doesn't do much. It is this is like that old meta of TVZ where it's trying to stop creep tumors from getting down to the low ground off that ramp. It's spotting for a third. Obviously, the meta in the game itself has transformed since then, but we're seeing a little bit of that role being occupied. And it will be the right side third base option. That, of course, is the standard on this map in this matchup.
It will probably be that the Zerg player uses the Lings to break down the destructible rocks so that you cannot run Hellions or drop there. It'll try to make things a little bit more difficult. Really keeps the focus for the Zerg player on the natural expansion so that they can easily bounce between the main and the third. Makes life easy for you, but look at this. Cheeky.
Baneling Nest.
Yeah.
That's very different.
He's got the armory coming in too, so he's kind of going with the flow on what's been working. He's not changing it up too much. The Reaper just gets into the natural.
Sees the Baneling Nest first thing.
Gets a drone as well. Very weird. While these Hellions clean up the Lings. One of the SCVs tries to punch.
All of them.
One of the SCVs tried to punch out one of those Lings. He died. So, lesson learned. Don't fist fight a Zergling. But the Reaper's pulling everything over here, and the drop lands into the main. One Reaper jebaited everything here to the natural, and he gets another 6 drones, pulls back, and he can just, boom. Peace. Sayonara.
Safely to go home if they want.
And the armory's done, so he's probably going to do is just drop those Hellions in the main base like he did on Proxima and just turn them all into Hellbats.
Nice.
While he gets the Raven pop. And the Reaper!
It just keeps on going. Serral falling apart a little bit here.
Oh my goodness.
He was looking for some Banelings, but he does finally kill the Reaper.
That's like one of the most effective Reapers NA that we've seen in a while. These 3 Hellbats are just going to go to the third. He's basically like, yeah, come kill me. Yep. No big deal.
Waddle.
Don't mind the 4 Hellbats I'm going to be building in your base. He does have some Banelings,
Get the medevac!
He does have some
Get
Banelings.
it! Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Come on!
And that Hellbat was also pretty.
And they get out too?
They're just going to waddle out, yeah.
Well, it was Duck Day just a couple days ago.
Yeah, that's true. They kind of walk like the queens do off creep. They just kind of
gingerly,
just kind of shake it to move. Yeah.
It's a very musical game. Everyone's got soul.
Yep. So,
follow up. It is actually nope. It's a tech lab. It's gonna be that Raven. Special likes to kind of fall back on.
But we're getting a other form of mechanical sort of game out of Special this game. He's getting +1 vehicle weapons and another factory in control.
He's going to split the map and really take today to the distance.
He wanted to find out if we had a union for the production team to see what would happen if this production actually went until 4 in the morning. We're going to find out.
Well, joke's on them. Blizzard pays us by the hour, and I get paid $7,000 an hour. So
congratulations, Jeff.
Yeah, this has been a great commentary for me.
I'm very happy for you. The Lair's finishing up. Has this auto turret, blasts down, deploying on the battlefield, wreaking havoc, ripping the hatchery plants gone.
Got the life of a fruit fly.
Yeah, something like that.
Hits harder, though. They don't hit particularly hard.
No. I haven't seen a fruit fly kill a whole drone line.
Well,
yet.
I mean,
Not
to be
yet.
fair, you haven't seen a fruit fly in the game.
That's true.
It is going to be Spire from Serral. He's meandered his way over to it. The other part of the meta that was interesting too.
Cyclones.
Is he ever going to even make it to that? He doesn't have a Roach Warren. You can't. How many queens does he have right now?
Another turret in the main base.
Yeah, those things are free.
What causes it to only last? Like, what how high tech is that? You'd
The-
think they'd learn from
No,
the
no, I
mule.
got this. It shoots at such a rate that the barrel actually
It
overheats.
destroys itself.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Cannot put out more bullets.
It does so much damage.
And then it self-destructs to hide the technology from the Zerg.
Okay. Some Cold War stuff going.
Yeah.
Can't infest it if it blows
Imagine
itself up.
Kerrigan with like free units that shot you for free. Like that. Just try to.
Mind
I know.
blowing. I know. Yeah.
You can't let that technology become.
Oh, look at that focus fire. He's going to get the queen. Noise. And
He's
turret
just not
going
used as dead though. Is the thing, Nathanius.
There's a lot of Cyclones and Hellbats. Well, you know, if the Hellbats are all...
I don't know what the Cyclones
If
do.
the Hellbats all give each other a big hug and the Banelings get right in the middle. Not yet. No. Oh, wow. So the Spire was his saving grace. And he doesn't build a single Muta. So... Yeah, that hurt. That sucked.
Okay, he does hold it off
He
though.
does
the good
get
connection.
most of the Hellbats, though. That's what really matters. Now the Lynx can clean up the Cyclones. He's not going to try to save him, though, because the Medevac's dead anyway.
Spire gets remade. It's actually not dead. I mean, if it did.
Because Queens have 1 armor by default, and they aren't classified as armored, Cyclones also take 5 years to kill them. So it's a very funny sort of battle, because Queens also take forever.
Okay, just pick it up.
No, go.
He actually could have sacked those and probably gotten the cancel at least.
Yeah, the part where it almost died right there, I was like, why did it stop?
Now, for one of the first times after an attack, Serral is actually behind in supply with that. So that harass
Losing the
was
Spire.
tremendously
The Spire is
successful.
huge. He can't do anything across the side, because Cyclones, if there's one thing that we know about them, it's that they actually use like a straw and they shoot little wads of like napkins at air units. That's how they deal damage. It's a very, very slow process.
It's only a Terran player that could complain about a Cyclone's effectiveness.
Yeah.
It really is.
You can't kill Mutalisks with those.
Yeah, thank goodness, because otherwise you wouldn't make anything else. They would actually just kill everything.
Have you seen it, Dad?
He is going to... he just doesn't have the confidence to turn around and just finish off this hatchery. It would cost him these units. The auto turret's going to do a big chunk of the work here. He's like, all right, you know what?
Give this hatchery a love tap, finish it.
That's
okay,
it.
We're
It
good.
did cost the Cyclones, but it's a great trade for sure.
Yeah, getting rid of that is certainly a big deal. And the
Ooh,
roaches are coming
roaches.
in, but...
Does he have a Spire? Because he did.
You know, he got the Spire as well. The thing is, Thors with support from Hellbats, and particularly in this case, I'd say if he were to build a couple more Cyclones, since he's also getting the attack upgrades very quickly, that damage output of the Cyclone is still very strong if he's able to use that.
Wow.
And we watched the...
Did it hurt when you complimented the Cyclone right there, or was it...
you know, being positive about something, it actually felt weird.
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah,
All right, well, Special is going to go mech here. We're having a full-on mech game. And on this map, that is one of the options that are pretty much the best for Terran. You can split this up, get yourself, 5-6 bases quite easily, defend them fairly easily.
Especially with the way this game started. Mech is actually quite good in this metagame versus Zerg in many scenarios where you can take these big open fights. Weirdly enough, you used to like the chokes as Mech, but now it's like you just don't want to get hit by Vipers. So the tanks are going to siege up back. The Hellions have the map control to clean it up. And as long as he keeps enough missile turrets, he really shouldn't have to worry about the Mutalisks too much. If he goes really, really, really crazy on the Mutas, then you risk dying just to the Thor Hellbat attack, and there's not a whole lot you can do without using an insane number of Banelings. But that's where the Ravens come into play, because at some point or another, he has the Ravens for auto turrets, which will also shoot the Mutas to help pick them off, but also point defense drone, which works against them, and Seeker Missile, which is you have to now run away ability.
We're going to have that fight right now. He is on the creep. The Mutas are separated, trying to go after those Thors, but there are the PDDs and the auto turrets.
Try magic boxing that. Not going to work. GG.
Wow.
Special goes up 2-1.
And this is bad news, Bears. I mean, Newkirk Precinct, like you said, very strong in the meta. This is not a special build that he invented. He's copying something that is prevalent in Korea. But we're seeing the difficulty for Serral, and all of a sudden, we're at match point. It feels like forever ago we started this series. There was 2 highly contested first games. But now in game 3, Special flexing his powerful biceps and crushing the nerd skull that is Serral. And you can see it.
Very, very, very aggressive play. I love it. And I think that's one of the best ways to play mech styles versus Zerg because there's a lot of things that you can lean on. The most important one being that you don't really need the upgrades. The armory opens up your Thor. The attack upgrades are mostly impactful if you're playing very Cyclone heavy. He did get a good number of Cyclones early enough, so I can't blame him for that. And then the +2 ended up being so early because of all that the Thors were two-shotting the Mutalisk, which is another important thing to keep in mind. I don't know if he had the +1 Carapace or not, but still, the thought process behind that, it all makes sense. And when you keep that relentless pressure and the Zerg player can't just sit back and build 5,000 Hydralisks and Vipers and blinding cloud you to death, well, it's quite difficult. The ability to run back across the map with Hellions and Hellbats like that is something not to be underestimated. As we are now loading in to the next map, it will be Cactus Valley.
A lot of people looking at Serral. He seems quite distressed, struggling over there, but fear not, that's actually just the normal emotional state of a Finnish person, so it's
completely
nothing
natural.
weird there at all. Yeah,
it's completely natural. You
He's
don't
at
have to
home.
call any hotlines. We are loaded into Cactus Valley. In the top left position, trailing in the series 1-2, we have the blue Zerg player. He is Serral. And he faces off against the red Terran player, beating him with both bio and mech. He is Special.
And he was quoted earlier as saying he did not come training from Korea all the way here to lose. And I think that's a pretty cool statement. We had the interview on stage earlier as well with Smix where he said that he used to be called Major, wants to switch to Special because this is the year that he wants to kind of reinvent himself and really establish himself as a top player, someone that is putting in the work and deserves your respect.
A sort of spiritual reincarnation, if you will.
Yeah.
Minus the dying part. He just gets to be reborn just straight up. Very
like a fruit fly.
Ambitious. Maybe.
Fruit fly is reincarnated. Did you know that? Did you not know that? Let me put it that way.
I wasn't aware that fruit flies reconstituted themselves.
You do not know that they do that.
That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they're everywhere. But we're going to get a bit of a different opening out of Serral. He opted for the spawning pool and gas first. Is this going to be that Roach Ravager timing attack you've been talking about?
I feel like on this, so the reason why it works on maps like this is you don't have a cliff between the natural area and the outside. So unlike Newkirk, where you need an Overlord for vision, you don't really need an Overlord for vision to do the bile on this map.
Gonna go
but
speed.
it's cross spawn, and I don't like Ravagers as much on this map for whatever reason. I think the speed makes sense. He's not doing it in an aggressive way, which is only interesting to me because this is not the map where you usually go Reaper cheese. I don't know.
Still mining gas.
Yeah.
Still mining gas after
Maybe
starting at
Roach,
speed.
maybe a Roach Ling or a Ravager Ling. There's a lot of different
Ling
ways
Bane
to do
Ling,
it.
Nate. I'm calling it.
Ling Bane against a guy who's opened Hellions every game?
I know, right?
That's
So crazy it
That's a
might
bold
work.
move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays
So
out.
crazy it might work. I'm waiting for it. I'm going to be so excited when I call this correctly.
The slow, yeah, you know, it would be even better if they just did the ZvZ build, where it's just a slow Ling with Bane
Yes.
Lings, and the guy just builds 6 Hellions.
And then upgrade
And then the Zerg
Overlord.
player calls the other guy Map Hacker. That's the
Yes.
cherry on top.
Then they literally fight on stage. That's the kind of drama StarCraft
I
used.
don't know that Serral could beat Special in a fist fight. I haven't.
Well, we won't know till we try. I mean,
That's
if
true.
Wayne Gretzky taught us anything, right?
That's true. I guess
missed every shot you don't
we couldn't
take, Nate.
possibly know. We could not possibly
That's
know
right.
until it happened.
And like I said, it's Speed Overlord, completely standard macro opening, and that's exactly what I thought was going to happen here.
Yeah.
I like the Speed Overlord, though. He's going to be able to scout everything, and in this cross-map situation, you can't rely on Lings forever. Eventually, they'll just lock down the front of that natural, and you just won't know what's going on. But with Speed Overlords, you should have an idea forever.
Yeah. So the Reaper pokes the front, takes a couple shots at the Queen, throws a grenade. Meh, nothing doing. Does spot the third base. Always important to see. Starport's going to finish. I have a feeling that Special is just going to do what he's been doing.
Wouldn't mind.
Yeah, the early drop play. He went for the mines in game number 2.
When that Starport finished, that's when you knew that he was going to go for the early drop play?
I figured he was going to go for the drop play in some way. I didn't know there'd be mines. I'm not actually whatever the word is.
Intelligent?
I was going for. I haven't kept up on my supernatural monitoring abilities. I don't think I have the third eye.
Telekinetic.
Yeah. Whatever works for you, Jeff. I see what I see. I'm but a simple man.
It's in my contract that when when the matches start to bleed over into impossible hours, Jeff becomes delirious, and that's actually just where it goes. But
Oh, that's totally understandable.
here's that Widowmine drop in, and the cross-map positions, by the way, also work against the Terran player. Like, this drop is going to hit, it passes an Overlord in the middle of the map. Serral is at match point. If he makes a mistake or loses a game, that's actually it. He's out.
Yep.
He is touted as one of the absolute favorites here, if, one of the best Zergs, but he could just literally just get 3-1 right now. So he's got to play really sharp.
Yep. And the middle mine drop's going to come in back towards the natural expansion. The first mine's going to burrow, second mine's going to burrow, and there's a...
Oh, that's what he was trying to do. That's pretty cool.
Cheeky play all around. And he's going to just eat that queen.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
She can take it.
And there's 4 Hellions. The follow-up drop straight into the main base. Unlike the last game, we do not have a Reaper to distract, so Hellions are immediately pushed away.
This is that Serral defense that Rotterdam was talking about at the analysis desk 9 hours ago. But the Widowmine, oh, he's on top of that too. Even picks it off. Just nothing. I mean, did he lose any drones here at all?
I think he got a drone, two drones.
2 drones?
Ooh, cataclysmic right there. For 2 Widowmine.
7 mineral advantage in terms of what's been killed for special here.
That's very dicey. It's very dicey in control. It comes back in with a drop, grabs a ling, and the Raven making its way to the northeast base.
Maybe that's Spire, by the way. Serral's just sticking to this. He's done this all of his games.
Okay.
We had a Baneling Nest earlier last time.
Getting a few drones here. Very nice. There's the auto turret. 1 drone focused down, but then it's immediately going to go towards the queen. I think it could get the queen if it was able to shoot the whole time, but the queen wants to get the medevac. The Hellions kind of squeeze in, but the focus fire really not that amazing. He doesn't get too many drones here, if any, with those Hellions.
Yep.
Kind of got choked up. You gotta be careful about that AI. And the Raven move away. Oh,
nice pickup.
So he's got 4 racks finishing up, 1-1 on the way. Stim. I mean, he's got his follow-up done very well. If there's one thing I can say about Special's builds that have really impressed me, it's that he doesn't seem to be making the classic mistake that 99.999% of StarCraft players make, which is, oh, hey, I'm dropping you and doing nothing at home, floating 10,000 minerals, you know.
Wow.
All that jazz. He's actually been quite on top of his follow-ups to his early aggressive strategies.
Auto turret going to go to work, gets 1 drone there. He's going to end up backing away, but the Raven remaining ever present. Really nice harassment. Again, one of the nice byproducts of this harassment is he sees the timing of everything. He knows exactly when the Spire is going to pop out. He knows what he's doing.
That Overlord's been there. He's had the lair. He didn't even... Overlord held it in for some reason.
Look at our Observer critiquing the players, too. That's incredible.
He knows. He knows.
I liked... in our downtime, I checked Team Liquid, and someone in the comment section said, man, Serral's playing a sloppy game 1 and 2. And I was like, dude, if that's a sloppy game...
If that's a sloppy game, I don't know.
I want to see what that guy's watching.
What's a clean
And it's not
game?
Korea StarCraft, by the way.
If that's
Don't tell me
if
that.
that's your sloppy game, then what is your Mr. Clean StarCraft? That's the real question.
He's like, there's like Dr. Manhattan somewhere out there playing games of StarCraft against himself, and he's watching. He
gets to watch that. And he's like, yeah, well,
sitting on the rings of Saturn.
Humanity
is incredible.
Humanity is not enough for that viewer anymore. He's done watching Earthlings play this game.
All right, attack and a swing over here on the right side. It's one of the advantages of this map. Cactus Knight does get the cancel, but it's very easy for the Zerg to take 4 bases. I say that as he loses his 4th base, so nice positioning from Special here. Mutalisk showed up. Difference being this time that mineral line is defended. Got to be careful. Swings away.
Yeah, a little bit late to start up that combat shields, but not too bad of a thing. He gets his 2-2 started up at a very nice time.
Is that 2-2?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, boy.
Doing good on upgrades.
That Overlord is also just...
He's a watcher.
Loitering.
He's a watcher.
Yeah, he's loitering in the main base.
And now comes the tough task for Special, and that's to remain relentless across this gigantic map. He's attacking that 4th base again, just kind of frolicking at the fringe of the creep there, but also pressuring in here with a retreatable Widowmine. Picks off the Queen, says, I'm going for more.
He's going straight into the main base, too, not retreating.
But there's stuff to meet him, and that's a little bit of a gamble. It's winning in position. He's going to cancel the 4th again.
He took a risk, and it buys him time to get the cancel, as you stated, on this 4th base once more. And he's going to pull back, just delaying that economy. And since he's on 3 bases, there's no pressure for him to do more than what he is right now. Gets a Mutalisk with that mine.
I want to see if Special can keep it up, though, because he canceled the fourth a few times. That's been nice, but now that creep is pushed out beyond that right side.
Oh, wow. He's looking
man.
at that mine. Got a little tunnel vision there, and the Mutas run smack dab into some Marines. Meanwhile, these guys try to deny fourth again, and they get swatted away. So this is what you were talking about, Jeff.
Yeah.
Can Special keep the pressure up? He's had his extended forces cut in half by that Baneling shot. Those medevacs are actually still sitting there, shocked in terror. They actually...
Yeah. They've seen some stuff.
Yeah, they're afflicted with fear. They can't do anything right now. 2-2 starts up for Serral, but Special's 2-2 is almost done. He's got his another factory coming in as well.
Yeah, and that creep is just pushing out really nice, finally establishing the right side of that fourth base, and it's well into the middle of the map, and we did see Special had some forces in the middle of the map, but didn't want to spring for the scan, and that's kind of where we're starting to feel the effect, I think, of this map on Special. Now pushing out to the tower, but if you notice around the map, there's no drops queued up. It's just those medevacs returning. And Special's going to have to just kind of start winning straight-up engagements, unlike the other matchups. And there he is, pushing on that creep
Clearing
now.
this creep, though, as you mentioned, this is a very important area because that's the #1 path that he wants to take to get to that fourth base, which he needs to shut down if he wants to win this game. So with his +2 finishing, this is it. This right now, pedal to the metal. You will get your best engagements right now until 3-3 is done. And that is still not even started yet. So if you can take this time to get a fight or two in, this is the time to do it. He gets the drop in the main base. That mine almost detonating, not quite there, but the drop in the main is wreaking some havoc. He can rip through these links without any difficulty. He has to bring the whole army back, and wham bam, there's the third base. Exposed again, but he did leave the Banelings behind, so he needs Widow Mines to crack this one open. That Marauder
is fighting off creep there, too, which is tough. Does end up cleaning that drop, and Special's going to back away. Evenly touted matches, you can feel the tension in this one. Serral really wants to get to that game number 5. Could feel like he was the guy that was favored to win this, but all of a sudden, we're looking at Special and we're respecting the hell out of this guy. He's playing just amazing lights out StarCraft.
Yep, Planetary Fortress, of course, a welcome defense. He's got a Ling hat. Nice.
Yeah, he's not going to kill it this time, by the way, either. I doubt it.
No, wouldn't be quite
Special
so
should not
easy.
kill that.
The number of Banelings here to defend, though, certainly turns this into a weird sort of position because he wants to attack, but that's a lot of Banelings. You are relying on a Widowmine shot to clear most of those out. The splits are trading pretty well, though. Yeah, I guess fighting off creep. I didn't expect him to clear so many of them out with that first fight, but he's doing a pretty damn solid job so far.
Constantly managing a supply advantage there is Special, but he's going to lose a lot of these Widow Mines. Nice picking off the one Zergling. A very good sacrifice if you're Serral. And now he's going to give chase to this army that no longer has Widow Mines, but he does have to be careful because one of the things that Special has been doing is burrowing Widow Mines in retreat paths. So he'll pull back, the Zerg will clump up and chase, and they'll take the massive Widow Mine shot.
Very, very smart way to do it. We've seen this happen a few times. He's going to find this expansion just kind of out there on the map. He does manage to shut this down. And he's going into the third base in the midst of all of this. Only one mine to block that was not burrowed, but he's able to clear it out. He has the Thor there. That fourth base is either destroyed or canceled. The drop in the top left, eaten up by those Mutas.
The Mutas are out of position. Now here come the Banelings. They're relatively unsupported. Marauders in the front. That's not a good exchange, so Serral's going to back up, trying to buy time, but the Hatcher's getting low in health. It will go down. Here come the Banelings trying to get revenge, looking for the Marine connections. They don't quite get there. Ooh. And Special does a good job backing away, taking a nice hatchery for himself and defending in the background.
Yep, he's trying to crack open this planetary fortress. He gets the turrets, and the Mutas are going to town, but the Marines have arrived. The cavalry is here, as they would say. And
Cavalry here, love.
What?
Yeah, I didn't.
Why'd you say that, Nate?
I didn't say that.
That's a bit weird. Didn't know your voice could get that high.
I get excited sometimes.
Muta's looking for revenge in the background. He did fall behind there, so he's got to score some wins. Getting the SCVs was nice, but it feels like every time Serral finds a hole in the armor of Special, a stimmed force comes right on over. He's just constantly positioned to respond.
Yeah, he's been hitting him with drops non-stop. The only thing that sucks is the fifth base. He's tried to build on location a few times these expansions. I think that's one of the biggest things that's probably hurt Special, because those bases are the only ones that are really getting denied. Nice. Hits the third base. Nice. Attack on that missile turret as he continues to defend. The Banelings, though, not able to connect with the Marines. All destroyed. And the fourth base under assault once more. The fifth base on the left side also getting hit with the drop at the same time, while the Mutalisks inside of the main base are looking at the reactors, trying to get rid of the production that he has available. The Banelings are coming in towards the Marines.
Go for it. Widow Mine in the backfield.
Looking for the dream shot, but it's not there just yet.
can quite get it, but he does get that 4th base. Meanwhile, Serral is just tearing up the production in here. We saw a Stim Force go to defend that 3rd. It's going to have to make its way back into the main to save it. We need to see 36 Zerglings coming out here as well from Serral. Where are the Banelings? There they are. They connect a little bit. Another drop in the main. It's just never ending.
Yeah, 2 brothers in the main base going after this queen, trying to pick that off. The Mutas are on the retreat route in the northeast side of the map.
Oh my, they're being hounded by everything.
Almost. Oh,
Oh,
smack dab into the
careful.
green. Oh, baby. Yeah,
Gets a
that
couple
hurts.
Mutalisks.
That hurts.
Gonna
And
back
there's
away.
still these random mines, too. I have a feeling he's just going to probably fly straight into those, too. He's going to push to the left.
Are you
side.
sensing it?
I'm sensing it. The random Widow Mine power. It's a great one.
Ooh.
He's
Medevac's
building,
gotta be
he's
careful
building
with
more
that
mutas too, so you can really feel like that's such a key part. It's such an integral component of his harass because he cannot keep his units on the map because he has to constantly defend.
Tell you
It's
what,
like, oh,
Nathaniel, we were earlier talking about too how hard it was going to be to maintain aggression on this big map.
he's doing it.
He's doing it, and he's making it look easy. Big surround there. Nice connection for the Banelings. They're going to get a lot of the Marines, so they're trying to split off creep. And the Thors, though, are now left exposed. A nice little win in terms of fight, but at what cost, Nathaniel? You have to ask it. At the top of the map, a huge force goes past where the 3rd was, pushing into the natural. They got to be a little bit careful, though, because that's a huge chunk of his army that is, well, never mind. Serral's going for it.
And he's still got a lot to work with. All the Widow Mines there on the planetary. He's like, yeah, try to focus down these missile turrets. And he still has Thors on the way. He's still building mines. The production tab is just running amok with all this bio.
Yeah.
Special has not missed a beat with his macro. He's still up 40 supply. Disgustingly good Terran gameplay.
He is very, very scary, and I cannot wait, if he does advance, to see if he can keep up this level of play in the other matchups as well. This guy is also qualified for the GSL, so hopefully he's won some fans out of you guys, and you'll be cheering for him over in Korea, where he'll be competing regardless of how he does here. Now, getting us around, he's looking to go ahead and corner these mutas.
In those mutas, and is he gonna? Okay, he's gonna be able to.
Serral's got a little bit of a football player in himself, though. He's actually remaking that engineering bay. I was wondering, because he's got 3/3 upgrades. It's because he can't make missile turrets. He's like, oh gosh, I actually need that engineering.
There is a functional purpose
Yeah.
to engineering bays in StarCraft 2.
Not just upgrades.
Good credit to Serral, though, for holding on to that west side expansion. When he loses that,
Yeah.
if he loses that, the game is over. He won't have any more real income to work with. He's retaking this base.
It's amazing, though. It feels like if Special didn't keep up this unrelenting aggression,
It does say a lot about Serral.
Serral would just spill over.
If he had done even 75% of the harass he's done this game, I feel like Serral would have demolished him.
Another couple of big Widow Mine hits. You see those 9 drones dead? Yeah, they died on the left side over there. To a Widow Mine drop of all things. And he's actually even able to pick up one of the Widow Mines and return later for the idea. The other one didn't even die.
Nope. There's no oversteer here. And he actually boots up high-sec auto-tracking when he gets that new engineering base. So he wants the attack range on his missile turrets and planetary. It does help getting that first shot off faster if you're dealing with something like that.
Oh, huge surround from Serral. He's going to come in from both sides. It's a lot of Marines. They're off creep, though. They're going to pull back. Widow Mine's looking to go ahead and defend the flank. And this is going to be a costly exchange. Nice kite. It's too much. Special takes the series.
Special with a 3-1. Almost a 4-0 in a best of 5. To be honest, with the way that this was played out. Amazing gaming out of our Mexican Terran player. Just the macro, insane.
Everything. The multitasking, the micro.
Everything was so damn good.
Amazing execution, and he well-deserved win. A tip of the hat to Serral, too. Put on a show. It was just a duking out of 2 gods of StarCraft. From us as the observers, thank you so much for that performance. But I cannot wait to hear from our victor and Smix on stage.
Thank you very much, In Control. Congratulations, Major. You are headed to the semifinal here at WCS Austin, and this is definitely a very special moment for you, not just because top 4 is fantastic, but this is your first top 4 finish at a premier event ever. So what's going through your head right now?
I'm very happy because I've been practicing really, really hard. So I'm glad it's paying off, and I hope I can do well in semifinals too tomorrow.
Well, your gameplay against Serral looked absolutely fantastic. Your TVZ looked so solid. You showed both mech and bio play. So practicing over in Korea, what are the sort of things that you feel like you picked up and learned?
I've learned a lot because I'm very close with TY, and he always lets me see his practice games or give me replays or give me advice. And I feel Serral very good, but since he plays on Europe, there's not that many Terrans. And I'm very used to playing against Middle Lane Bane that are very good players at Middle Lane Bane. So I think it's like my best against Zerg, like the best stuff I can play against Middle Lane Bane.
Well, we just saw really great TVZ from you, but up in the semifinal, you'll have to show some really great TVP because you'll be either facing the Kespa Cup champion in Neeb or the WCS Spring champion in Showtime. So do you think that, how are you feeling in that particular potential matchup?
Oh, I think it's going to be really hard, to be honest. They're both very good players. Whoever wins is going to give me a really hard challenge. But I'm going to try to prepare tonight between talking with my friends and VODs and see what can I come up with to beat him, whoever it is.
Well, congratulations again so much, Special. Looking forward to your matches tomorrow. But for now, let's head back to the desk with Colaris.
Great moment for Special here, securing himself $6,500 as well as 900 WCS points in WCS Austin, our first of our semi-finalists to move on through. And looking at that fixture, everybody coming in, or at least myself coming in, I was thinking to myself, Serral, man, he's the king. He's doing very well right now, but oh my God, Special, he just turned massive heads.
Yeah, for instance, I have to give apologies to the Spanish-speaking audience out there, but his TVZ is muy caliente. That's very, very, very hard to stop.
No clue what that means. Roddy?
Very spicy.
No, we all look I agree, James. We all look pretty stupid because we're all hyping up Serral, and we're already talking about, like, he's basically in the grand final.
Yep.
And it was like, Special/Major, however you want to call him, is incredibly good, but it's Serral. Serral is so good. But I am happy that we did highlight the fact that he barely played any TVZs. So we did bring it up. I did not think that was going to be a groundbreaking factor in this best of 5. But it kind of turned out like it was. I mean, Major said it on stage as well. He's like, I'm over in Korea. I'm playing against Middle Lane Bane all the time. Goes up against Zergs, like probably Solar quite often. Maybe even Dark or something. And yeah, obviously, if you have practice like that, that's fantastic for Major.
Yeah.
While Serral, on the other end, is smashing everybody in Europe. But there are very few Terrans out there that will probably have the same level of practice as Major has. And yeah, Major surprised us, and Major played phenomenally well. Let's not forget, even the game that he lost is a game that he could have potentially won.
Yeah, very close.
What's fantastic for me to see is that Major, we have actually hyped this guy up. I mean, yes, Serral has been hyped up, but we've hyped up Major.
We hype up
for
everybody, James.
Years. For years.
Yeah.
And he's always kind of fallen short, or people have just thought, oh, maybe he's a little bit lazy in practice. I don't think that's the case whatsoever, but it really does show. He mentioned it in his interview there. This is the hardest he's ever been working, and it shows here in this tournament so far.
Yeah, there's actually a bunch of players, like more than I can remember in this tournament, like more than one hand count. I'd say like 6 or so players that I've seen in this tournament that have really leveled up from the last time I saw them. Like think about Major in Montreal versus Major right now in the round of 4. The huge difference, night and day. They've gotten so much better. Kellezer as well.
Yeah.
Like huge differences.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, even you mentioned Montreal, but that was actually a pretty good tournament for Major. He made quarterfinals back then. So that wasn't bad. But yeah, there's been many times in the past where we said, like, Major is arguably the best foreigner right now, and then he goes in and he loses in a round of 32. Back then, when we had the regular WCS Premier League groups, just kept bombing out in the round of 32, maybe round of 16. But yeah, it was never the hype that we give him.
Yep.
And then this time, when we're kind of underselling him, and we're like, yeah, it's cool that you qualified for Codas, but now you're going up against the best Europeans. No, but that's great, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow, man. Like, hopefully he can show or display the same level of skill in TVP.
Yeah, maybe, because he will be going up against Neeb or Showtime in just a little bit's time, which means we are going to go to a short break. And when we are back, it's our next quarterfinal. It's two of the very best Protoss of the Western world going up against one another.